Hey guys, this is Sam from Sammy's Reviews, and today I am back to talk about music. The past few years I've been obsessed with the rap genre. So I had to learn and understand how rap has become the genre it is nowadays. Let's begin with the origins of hip-hop. Hip-hop started back in the 1970s in New York City, in Bronx specifically. And it emerged as a response to two main events. The black arts movement that was there in movies and in breakdancing and in music. And it was also a response to the civil rights movement. Black rappers used rap and hip-hop genre as a way to express themselves and to find a safe and free space to talk about political and social issues like drug addiction, racism, crimes, and so much more. But hip-hop at that time was affiliated with gangs and gang members like the Wu-Tang Clan, who specifically used street language.
The thing about evolution is that if any man sees another man fly, we all will fly, right? So when these kids, anybody watches Wu-Tang doc and they see our struggle and see what we've been through, I'm sure it will inspire them. It will inspire the hip-hop generation that's present, and it will inspire a hip-hop generation that's coming up, you know what I mean? Because they'll get a chance to see a path of good people.
Later on, rap took a mainstream turn in the 1990s with rappers like Biggie and Tupac Shakur. And that's when black female rappers started to rise as well, with people like Lauryn Hill with her first solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and received 5 Grammys. Hip-hop/rap became a political and social stance. However, in the early 2000s, that's when Kanye West emerged, and that's when everything has changed in the rap and hip-hop genre. Kanye West started writing music that is personal, talking about his feelings, his emotions, specifically with the album 808 and Heartbreak, which is one of the most influential albums of the early 2000s. He started to experiment with music, mixing sounds, sampling R&B, soul, and jazz singers, and rap was divided into 2 different categories. Innovative rap with Kanye West releasing Stronger with Daft Punk, and on the other hand we had 50 Cent, who was releasing Candy Shop. This is how forward-thinking Kanye was. Kanye's music gave birth to thousands of intelligent and innovative artists after him. They learned from him how to sample music, how to add features, how to be experimental with your album. I believe this idea solely gave birth to someone like Tyler the Creator, who again is a completely different image of a rapper, with his pink suit and blonde hair in Earthquake. That's how different rappers looked like. That's the kind of rap I grew up with. Kanye also normalized the idea of rappers singing, and I believe this idea solely gave birth to someone like Drake, who didn't look like Lil Wayne or Snoop Dogg, who didn't have braided hair and face tattoos. He looked polished and clean, and production companies loved this idea of a polished rapper. This paved the way for huge companies to work with rappers and beg them to be the face of their brand. Travis Scott has a McDonald's meal. That's where we are with rap. Alongside being an innovative rapper and a boundary-pushing artist, Kanye West also got a PhD in fashion. He created a fashion brand. He became Kim Kardashian's husband and stylist. And this idea might sound normal, but let's recap how rappers looked like 10 years from that step. This soft side, as you might call it, of black rappers encouraged someone like A$AP Rocky to come out and talk about his skincare routine.
Okay, so who's like the first person that you looked up to in terms of skincare in regards to like a man?
No man.
No men, really, right?
Nah, unfortunately, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Or Frank Ocean to create an album that talks about mental health. Or someone like Lil Uzi Vert, who has a Pink Tape album, which has pink all over it. Or someone like Tyler the Creator, who I adore. But Tyler the Creator is an idea that was born after Kanye West's input to the music industry. Tyler the Creator, who is a loose rapper, but the Grammys categorizes him as a rapper, is in a lot of ways an extension of Kanye West's ideas. But don't get me wrong, he is his own man, he has his own music, and you can You can see the traces of Kanye West's in his album, but they're so little and so tweaked by him that you can also not see them. He's also a fashion designer. He also uses features very smartly, and he samples like crazy. There's an interview for Tyler the Creator where he says that the music that Kanye West is sampling is the same music that inspired people like Elvis Presley or Bob Dylan. This is how far Kanye West goes back in order to sample in his music. Literally, there's like this bar that he took from a TV ad and added it in his song. Kanye West is teaching rappers that you should be listening to a lot of music and you should be constantly looking for samples anywhere. It doesn't have to be in a song, it could be in a TV ad. In his third album, Kanye West collaborated with Takashi Murakami to make his album cover. Like, who was Takashi Murakami to the black rappers community at that time? In this image of Kanye West wearing a pink polo shirt to Paris Fashion Week, I believe this is where the image of a rapper has changed. Rappers don't have to wear gold chains and diamond tooth and like diamonds everywhere to look so cool and hipster. No, they can be fashion designers, they can wear pink, they can wear polos, they can wear a backpack. And one might argue that this led to someone like the genius Virgil Abloh, who worked with Kanye West to create several of his album covers, to be the artistic director of Louis Vuitton and creating a luxurious streetwear brand like Off-White. I mean, now Pharrell Williams is a creative director in Louis Vuitton. This newly found idea and image of a rapper was born, and gradually rap stopped being a political stance or a way to talk about social issues and became a space to talk about personal feelings and personal issues. And this might have been an inspiration to someone like Kendrick Lamar, which I believe the most important rapper alive. Kendrick Lamar took conscious rap to the mainstream with his first hit, Drank, that talked about alcoholism and the negative side of it, which is a weird subject for a hit song. Kendrick Lamar is a very calculated rapper with calculated steps. His albums are concept albums. With the release of his first concept album, he followed it with another and another and another. And he took concept conscious albums to the mainstream. Kendrick Lamar is a very talented rapper who knows how to use wordplay correctly, who has very unique flaws, and even the number of words that he uses in a verse is something to talk about. He also used vocal inflations to talk about very serious topics. Unlike someone like Eminem, who also used vocal inflations but in a light-hearted / sarcastic tone. Kendrick Lamar might have encouraged other artists to shift the way they rap. For someone like J. Cole or Lupe Fiasco, they all tell stories, but personal stories. All of these aspects led to the release of my most anticipated album of the year, and one of the most mainstream artists and the most important figure in the rap community currently, Travis Scott. Just like how Kanye was Jay-Z's protege, Travis Scott, in my eyes, is Kanye West's protege. He's an extension of Kanye West production-wise and musically. Travis Scott represents the fun, club, pure entertainment rap music. That's how he was in Rodeo, in Astroworld, or even in Metro Boomin's latest album, Heroes and Villains. Travis Scott is like an emphasizing idea that rap is a genre that has changed and evolved drastically. Because even though Utopia is pretty experimental and very abstract, it is still a mainstream anticipated album. One of the biggest in-your-face issue with Utopia is that it's too similar to Kanye West's Yeezus that came out 10 years ago, but was poorly received by the mass audience because it was too bizarre. So can you see that Yeezus too bizarre, 10 years later, Utopia mainstream? This is how rap is moving forward.
A walking attraction, a walking distraction. My leather black jeans on, my by any means on. Baby, please get off the gram. I like you better in the stands. I am a god. The stars start to fade. On lonely nights I start to fade.
So Travis Scott, one of the most influential artists in the rap scene nowadays, as he introduced psychedelic trap music, for me, With Utopia, I did not want another Astro World. I wanted rap to be pushed forward, and I wanted Travis Scott to use his talents differently. And he did. This conceptual abstract album is something. It's like an event. It's like a blockbuster movie with a huge crew and lots of money. It's like Oppenheimer of the year. He managed to keep the fun, entertaining part of the album, but in a much grander scheme. And yeah, I can see the shortcomings of Utopia. It's too long and it's too messy, and it kind of doesn't know what it wants to be. And it contains a number of songs that there is no way that they are in the same album. Like, I can't imagine that K-pop, which is the only single that came out before the album, it's a very weird choice. K-pop, which sounds exactly like a Bad Bunny song and has nothing to do with Travis Scott, it's a fine song. It's just I can't imagine that it exists in the same environment like Guts Country, which sounds like Kanye West's Donda, and it is a leftover from Kanye West's Donda, or Beyonce's song that is a leftover of Beyonce's Renaissance, or Topia Twin, which is a very formulaic rap song. All of these songs, they exist in one album. However, in this mess, you get a lot of treasures. Just like in the Beatles' The White Album. Songs like I Know, Modern Jam, Thank God, Till Further Notice, these are excellent songs. I just feel like the similarity between Utopia and Yeezus is something you cannot overcome easily. Using Bon Iver as a feature, using Kid Cudi as a feature, using one of Donda's songs. I feel like Travis Scott cornered himself as a Kanye wannabe. And don't get me wrong, this is not how I want to end the video, because I absolutely loved the album. Again, Modern Jam with its lit beat, Meltdown with Drake's most controversial verse of the year, El Resto with Beyonce's outstanding vocal performance. It's a definitely great album that managed to live up to its very, very, very high expectations. So what do you think of the evolution of the rap scene? Tell me down below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!